Have you ever wondered if there's a quiet signal that reveals how a man truly feels about you? Something deeper than words or obvious gestures? Here's the truth. When a man is falling for you, the most powerful signal isn't what he says, it's how consistently he shows up. While many women look for dramatic declarations, the real indicator is much more subtle and often overlooked. When a man begins to care deeply, he doesn't just chase excitement, he creates stability. He checks in, follows through, and makes you feel considered in his daily life. This consistency is his unspoken way of saying, "You matter to me." Pay attention to the patterns, not the moments. Anyone can create a spark, but not everyone can maintain a steady flame. The secret signal is simple. When his actions become reliable, intentional, and focused on you, that's when he's truly falling. Most people mistake intensity for genuine interest. They get swept up in grand gestures, long late-night conversations, or sudden bursts of attention that feel exciting in the moment. But intensity is often easy to create. It thrives on emotion, spontaneity, and sometimes even uncertainty. Consistency, on the other hand, requires intention, effort, and emotional stability. And that's where the real difference lies. When a man is truly interested in you on a deeper level, he doesn't just show up when it's convenient or when he feels like it, he shows up regularly. His behavior doesn't leave you guessing or overanalyzing. You're not stuck wondering why he was so attentive yesterday and distant today. Instead, there's a sense of reliability in how he communicates, how he treats you, and how he integrates you into his life. Consistency is not about constant texting or being available every second of the day. It's about emotional steadiness. It's the pattern of him checking in, making plans and actually following through, and maintaining the same level of respect and interest over time. You start to feel secure because his actions align with his words. There's no confusion, no mixed signals, just a clear, steady presence. Intensity can often create a false sense of connection. It can make things feel deeper than they actually are, especially in the early stages. But without consistency, that intensity fades quickly, leaving you questioning what changed. Consistency, however, builds trust. It shows that his interest isn't based on a fleeting emotion, but on a genuine desire to be part of your life. This is why it's important to shift your focus. Instead of asking, how strongly does he feel in this moment? Start asking, how consistently does he show up over time? Because real feelings are not proven in a single night or a few exciting interactions. They're revealed in the repeated, reliable actions that follow. A man who is falling for you doesn't rely on big, dramatic moments to express it. He expresses it in the small, everyday ways that are easy to overlook but impossible to fake over time. And when you begin to recognize this, you stop being impressed by intensity alone and start valuing the kind of connection that actually lasts. Emotional investment is one of the clearest shifts that happens when a man begins to develop real feelings for you, yet it's often misunderstood or overlooked. In the early stages, many interactions stay on the surface, light conversations, playful teasing, and keeping things easy. But when his feelings deepen, something starts to change. He gradually moves from just enjoying your presence to wanting you to understand him. This doesn't usually happen in a dramatic, obvious way. Instead, it shows up in small but meaningful moments. He starts opening up about his thoughts, his past experiences, his worries, and even his insecurities. These are parts of himself he doesn't share with just anyone. When he chooses to share them with you, it's a sign that he trusts you and values your presence in his life on a deeper level. A man who is emotionally investing is no longer just focused on impressing you. He's focused on connecting with you. He wants you to see who he really is, beyond the confident or charming exterior. This might mean he talks about his goals, the pressures he feels, or things that have shaped him. He may even seek your opinion or advice, which shows he respects how you think and feels comfortable being influenced by you. Another important aspect of emotional investment is that he becomes more curious about you as well. It's not just about him sharing, it's about him wanting to understand your inner world too. He asks deeper questions, listens more carefully, and remembers the little things you tell him. This kind of attention isn't random, it reflects a genuine interest in building something meaningful. What makes emotional investment powerful is that it requires vulnerability. And vulnerability is not something people offer lightly. It involves risk. the risk of being misunderstood, judged, or even rejected. So when a man starts to lower his guard and let you see those layers, it's a strong indication that his feelings are becoming more serious. It's important to distinguish real emotional investment from surface level sharing. Anyone can talk a lot, but not everyone is truly opening up. Real emotional investment has depth and sincerity. It feels personal, not rehearsed. It creates a sense of closeness that builds over time, rather than appearing all at once. When you recognize this shift, you begin to see that attraction is no longer just about chemistry or excitement. It's about connection, trust, and emotional safety. And when a man is willing to invest in that level of connection, it's a strong sign that he's not just interested in the moment, he's starting to care about something much more lasting. One of the most revealing signs that a man is developing deeper feelings for you is how he begins to prioritize you in his life. In the beginning, it's easy for someone to fit you in when it's convenient, when they're free, bored, or looking for company. But when his feelings grow, you stop being an option and start becoming a priority. This shift doesn't always come with big announcements or dramatic changes. It shows up in the way he organizes his time and energy. He starts making space for you even when life is busy. Instead of squeezing you into leftover moments, he plans ahead to see you, schedules time intentionally, and makes an effort to be present when you're together. You notice that he's not just reacting to circumstances, he's actively choosing you. Prioritization is also reflected in the way he handles conflicts or challenges. When something comes up, whether it's a busy schedule, stress, or external pressures, he doesn't simply disappear or pull away. Instead, he communicates. He lets you know what's going on and reassures you through his actions that you still matter. This kind of behavior shows emotional maturity and a genuine desire to maintain the connection. Another important aspect is that he starts considering you in his decisions, even the small ones. It could be as simple as checking your availability before making plans, choosing activities he knows you'll enjoy, or adjusting his routine to include you. These actions may seem minor on the surface, but they reveal a deeper mindset. You are becoming part of how he thinks about his life. When a man prioritizes you, you don't feel like you're competing for his attention. You don't have to chase him, remind him, or question where you stand. There's a sense of ease because his actions consistently show that you are important to him. This doesn't mean he abandons his own life or responsibilities. It means he integrates you into it in a meaningful way. It's also important to understand that real prioritization involves effort. Life will always have demands, distractions, and responsibilities. But when someone truly values you, they find a way to balance those things without making you feel neglected or unimportant. Effort becomes visible in the way he follows through on plans, keeps his promises, and shows up when it matters. Many people get caught up in words or temporary excitement, but prioritization is something you can observe clearly over time. It's not about what he says he'll do, it's about what he consistently does. And when you start to notice that he is making space for you, thinking about you in his decisions, and showing up with intention, it becomes clear that his feelings are no longer casual. He's choosing you again and again in ways that are real and lasting. There's a subtle but powerful shift that happens when a man begins to develop deeper feelings for you. He becomes more attentive to your well-being in a way that goes beyond surface-level politeness. It's not about control or dominance, it's about care. This kind of protective attention shows up in how aware he becomes of your comfort, your emotions, and your overall experience when you're around him. At first, this might look very simple. He notices when you're tired, when something feels off, or when you're not as energetic as usual. He doesn't ignore these signals or brush them aside. Instead, he responds. He might check in with you, adjust plans, or do small things to make you feel more at ease. These actions aren't grand or attention-seeking. They're thoughtful and intentional. As his feelings deepen, this awareness becomes more consistent. He starts to anticipate your needs without you having to ask. If you're in a crowded or unfamiliar environment, he naturally becomes more mindful of your comfort. If something upsets you, he doesn't dismiss it. He listens and tries to understand. His focus shifts from simply enjoying your company to ensuring that you feel safe, respected, and valued in his presence. This kind of attention also shows up emotionally. He becomes more careful with how his actions and words affect you. If he realizes something he said hurt you, he doesn't become defensive or distant. Instead, he takes responsibility and makes an effort to do better. That willingness to adjust his behavior is a strong indicator that your feelings matter to him. It's important to understand that true protective attention is not about possessiveness. It doesn't restrict your independence or make you feel controlled. In fact, it does the opposite. It supports your sense of security and freedom. You feel more comfortable being yourself because you know he's paying attention in a way that is respectful, not overwhelming. Another key aspect is consistency. Anyone can show care in isolated moments, especially when they're trying to impress you. But when a man is genuinely invested, this attentiveness becomes part of how he naturally behaves around you. It's not forced or occasional, it's steady and reliable. What makes this signal so meaningful is that it reflects emotional presence. He's not just physically there with you, he's mentally and emotionally tuned in. He notices the details, responds to them, and adjusts in ways that make you feel seen and understood. Over time, this creates a sense of trust. You don't feel like you have to constantly explain yourself or defend your feelings. There's a quiet understanding that builds, where his actions show that he genuinely cares about your experience, not just his own. And that's when you realize his attention is no longer casual, it's deeply connected to how much he values you. One of the most telling signs that a man is developing real feelings for you is how you begin to appear in his view of the future. This doesn't always come in the form of big, serious conversations right away. In fact, it often starts in subtle, almost casual ways that are easy to miss if you're not paying attention. At first, it might be small comments, mentioning a place he'd like to take you someday, talking about an event happening next month, or joking about something the two of you could do together in the future. These moments may seem light or playful, but they reveal something deeper. He's starting to imagine you as part of his life beyond the present moment. This shift is important because when someone's interest is only temporary, their focus stays in the now. They enjoy your company, but they don't think much about where things are going. When a man begins to include you in future scenarios, even in simple ways, it shows that he's thinking ahead and that you're part of that picture. As his feelings grow, this inclusion becomes more intentional. He may start making actual plans in advance rather than last-minute arrangements. He talks about things he wants to experience with you, not just things that happen spontaneously. You might notice him coordinating schedules, checking your availability for upcoming plans, or expressing excitement about spending time together in the days or weeks ahead. Another powerful aspect of this is that he begins to align his life with the possibility of you being in it long term. This doesn't mean he's planning everything out in detail, but there's a clear shift in mindset. He considers how his choices, time, and priorities can include you. You're no longer just someone he enjoys in the moment. You're someone he wants to keep in his life moving forward. It's also reflected in the way he introduces you into different parts of his world. He may start mentioning you to friends or family, or inviting you into environments that matter to him. This is another form of future inclusion. It shows that he's not keeping you separate from his life, but gradually integrating you into it. What makes this signal so meaningful is that it requires intention. Thinking about the future involves a level of emotional commitment. It means he's not just reacting to how he feels in the moment, he's considering what it would mean to have you as a consistent presence in his life. However, it's important to focus on patterns rather than isolated statements. Anyone can make a casual comment about the future, but when those comments are backed by consistent actions, planning, following through, and making space for you over time, it becomes clear that his intentions are genuine. When you start to notice this, you realize that his feelings are no longer just about attraction or enjoyment. They're about continuity. He's not just thinking about seeing you again, he's thinking about keeping you in his life. And that's when you know his connection to you is becoming something deeper and more meaningful. When you step back and look at all of this together, a clear picture begins to form. The real signal that a man is falling for you isn't loud, dramatic, or confusing. It's steady, intentional, and consistent across different areas of his behavior. It shows in how he shows up for you, how he opens up emotionally, how he prioritizes you, how he cares about your well-being, and how he starts to include you in his future. The mistake many people make is focusing on isolated moments, one sweet message, one intense conversation, or one exciting experience. But real feelings are not built in moments, they are revealed in patterns. And when these patterns align, they tell a much deeper story than words ever could. So instead of chasing intensity or overanalyzing every small detail, shift your focus to what is consistent and real. Pay attention to actions that repeat, effort that remains steady, and behavior that makes you feel secure rather than uncertain. Because in the end, the secret signal is not hidden at all, it's simply overlooked. When a man is truly falling for you, he doesn't just say it, he lives it again and again in ways you can quietly see and genuinely feel.